Hey folks, welcome back to another episode here at Ascend the Mountain. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Steve, and we are two normal guys just trying to ascend the mountain.
They're right back over there.
Yes. Can't wait to climb them.
Yep.
Soon, very soon.
We'll take you guys on it too. We'll take you on trips. It's going to be fun this year.
I do want to kind of say something. Like, we are two normal guys. We love to have fun. We're lighthearted. But I also feel like we're kind of maybe more than me than you. I feel like a pivot needs to take place where we kind of really go, okay, we've had fun and had good conversations about some fun stuff.
Yeah.
But there comes a time in life where we just gotta, okay, move forward and move on.
Like in some ways, like we've taken you, like we said, do you want to start like ascending some mountains, you know, and getting higher in your like walk with God? So we've done some little hikes and those are good. But now we're like, okay, we live in Colorado in the Rocky Mountains. It's like, now we're going to go hit some 14ers. Now we're going to go hit some 10,000 footers. Now we're going to start going in some more aggressive terrain with you.
When you can't breathe.
Right, right. And we believe that you guys are ready. We believe that we've kind of set the foundation, gotten a good feel for each other. You know, you guys know if you're coming back week in, week out, particularly, you know what you're getting with us. I believe you know that we're trying to be as real and authentic with you, not hiding, holding any punches. But now it's time to let's go after some bigger mountains and let's get higher and closer to God.
Ooh, makes my heart happy.
So Steve, you got something?
So this is crazy. In Joshua, it says, after the death of Moses. So everyone's kind of just like going, what is happening? What are we going to do? And God's saying, your mission's not done.
Right.
Joshua is now leader. And Joshua has seen Moses talk to God face to face, which is awesome. He has seen the triumphs and the tragedies of everything.
Right.
He's like, you're in charge. And that may be where some of you are at, where God's telling you, okay, I need you to lead your family. I need you to lead this person. Or I need to even lead yourself to this promised land. And this is what he says, and I hope it's encouraging to you guys. He says in Joshua 1, he says, as I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will never leave you nor forsake you. Be strong and courageous, because you will lead these people to inherit the land I swore to their ancestors. Be strong and very courageous. Be careful to obey all the law my servant Moses gave you. Do not turn from it to the right or to the left, that you may be successful in wherever you go. Keep this book of the law always on your lips. Meditate on it day and night. Do everything it says. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. I am the Lord your God. So you think about this. He's telling him, like, reaffirming what's happening, going, you got this.
Right.
You're going to lead these people over. But it's easy sometimes when we have a new task ahead of us, or God has given us a task, and go, am I qualified?
Right. Do I know where I'm going? I don't know. How about this? I don't know what it looks like on the other side. And it is easier to follow than it is to lead. And I think I just want to park here for just a second on when you said that you need to lead yourself. I think it is natural a lot of the times to want to look to somebody else to lead you. We've touched on this in other videos and things like that, of like, I want my pastor to lead me spiritually. I want the government to lead me in my like day-to-day living. I want my boss to lead me in my job, you know, whatever it is. And it's like, God is asking you to go, I have equipped you. Don't be afraid. Trust me on that other side of the unknown thing that's on the other side. And that could be a new job. That could be having a kid. You know, I'm thinking of my brother. He just had their first child. So they're in uncharted territory, you know.
And us are sitting there going, don't be afraid.
Right.
This happens.
Right. Exactly.
You'll be fine. And that's what God's telling Joshua. I've seen this.
Right.
You got this.
Right.
And I kind of, that's good. But I do that with new parents all the time.
Yeah.
I have teenagers going, oh, this happened. You're like, oh. They're shaking and we're laughing, going, oh, that's
well, you've
your
encouraged me.
parenthood.
Yeah, I mean, you've encouraged me with that. There are moments, you know, I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, two boys that are like rough and tumble non-stop. And you're like, dude, it won't always be like this. You won't always have to wipe, you know, bums and
well, it was funny. You were sharing a
diapers.
story at our house, because you were at our house. This is my area where I live. Welcome to my casa. And you go, and you're sharing a story about your son, like running out. He's fast, he's quick. And you could tell the little worry, like, we almost had an incident. And my wife's just listening to it going, oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I've seen it.
Right.
I got this. We've experienced it. Yeah, we've had our kids run off in a parking lot and almost get. It is terrifying, but when you first experience it, it can be scary. And it's probably a little. Joshua's now taking control.
Right.
And he's probably got confidence, but he's no longer
He's only been in the promised land one time for like a month or whatever it was.
And he liked it.
Yeah, but that was 40 years ago. Things have changed.
It's like the Giants could have got bigger.
Right,
What do I do? And it's crazy because sometimes when God's asking you, like we talked in previous podcasts, to take ownership or to lead or to do something that's beyond like your norm, it can get a little worrisome. And even what's going on in today's society, it's easy to get worrisome. Like, what do I do? Do I wear a mask? Not wear a mask? Do we do this or not do this? And sometimes God's just saying, dude, you got it. Like,
right. Trust me. Use wisdom and faith. Those things go together, hand in hand.
But we get afraid. We get afraid in so many circumstances. New job, new career, new life, new parents, new thing. But I really want, like, in new territory that God's leading you in your life. And it could get a little scary.
So my question to you would be, like, for you, Steve, personally, right? How do you, when you're about to go into something, you're like, I'm afraid, I don't know what to do here. What do you do to, like, shore yourself up, to be like, what is it? You were like, is there a verse? Is it like, do you just like muscle through? I mean, is there a confidence in God that you have? Like, what is it?
I like to watch a Rocky movie. I do. Like, I get myself, because I played sports my whole life, I take everything that deals with faith through a sports lens. And I kind of sit there going, okay, I love hiking.
Yep.
I sometimes do it through that lens where I'm like, okay, there's going to be some parts that are easy.
Yeah.
And some parts, like when I go on hikes with you, you're just like, this is the easy part. Don't have to work very hard. First time we took backpacking with you, you're like, but then there's this part where it's the incline, it's going to be heavy. And you prepare yourself. But I do watch sport movies or World War II, like history.
Sure.
Heroic. I shouldn't say words that are too big for me. What about you? What do you do?
I mean, I think what my life rests on a lot of the time when it comes to that thought, like, am I afraid? You know, that one, because I have a relationship with Jesus Christ, my future is secure. And that doesn't mean that life is going to be perfect. That doesn't mean that ills will not follow my life, or, you know, pain, those type of things. That is not promised as a Christian to you. But what it does mean is that I know that God is there. I'm in his hands, and he's going to get me through. And I don't know what the get me through looks like, but when I know that he is that support, just like what he's saying to Joshua, he's like, I am with you. Do not be afraid. Yes, it will be hard. Yes, there will be battles. We see that. That's what they got to do then. They got to march around Jericho, and then there's like years of combat before they can enjoy the promise of God.
Which is some people's life.
Right, and you may be like,
combat.
Dude, I have been in combat with my spouse for 5 years, and I
don't see it getting better.
Right, or with my kids, or with my boss, or with my, you know, physical being, or maybe it's my mind. You know, I'm just like, I've battled with depression or anxiety my whole life, you know, and it's like, that's okay. You have the sword of the Spirit, you have the shield of faith. God has equipped you, and he's standing there with you, and he's like, I am with you. The
armor of God, just not a cute little thing we color in Sunday school.
Right.
It's real legit stuff that you got to put on, because you're literally in combat.
Right. But that's what's always helped me. When I'm even making decisions, I'm like, okay, something bad could happen if I do this, you know, if I don't do that, you know, like whatever it is. And to go, okay, God, but you have my best interest. I have the Holy Spirit living within me. I know that you're going to guide me. And even if it doesn't turn out okay, I'm still in your hands. And I have to trust you.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego said,
right,
when they're going to the furnace.
Right.
We know God can rescue us, but if he doesn't,
right,
we still serve him.
Still serve him. And that's a place I believe every Christian needs to get to. And I'm not saying that that's just like, oh, you just need to arrive there, like, figure it out, man. You know what I mean? That is something that you need to have God strengthen you in. That was so good, what you just said there. That whole, I believe God's going to show up and save us when you throw us in this fiery furnace. And the fiery furnace could be your job, and you have lung problems right now.
Yes.
Okay, that could be your financial situation because you're, you know,
the $1,200 didn't
fix it. You know what? I would name the thing, whatever it is, and that we need to go. And even if God doesn't show up, he's still God, and I still trust him, and it's still going to be okay.
Yes.
And okay could be me being with him, no longer on this earth. and
as Paul said, that's a win.
Right. To live is Christ, and to die is gain. And to really think about that for a second, is death gain to you? And I'm not saying we're not advocating to end your life. That's not what we're advocating here. But what we're saying is that to view it in that way.
The worst thing can happen is we get worried about is death.
Right.
And that's what this fear is.
Right.
Of this disease is dying.
Right.
And as Christians, we win. Though I'm not going to downplay it.
Right.
But it's Paul said it.
Right.
Like,
kind of knew what he was talking about.
His life was on the line
all the time.
All the time. And he almost just sat there and went, okay.
And I think that this helps me. I know this helps you. This it's in 2 Timothy 1:7. And I'm going to read two different versions here just because they both use different words, but I think one will probably resonate with certain people more than the other. One version, this is the English Standard Version, says, "For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control." And then the other version, this is the New American Standard Version, "For God has not given us a spirit of timidity," to be timid, scared, hide under a rock, "but of power and love and discipline." And so I have to believe that if I'm walking with Jesus Christ, this lives inside of me. So my innermost being has power and love and discipline and self-control and is not afraid.
That's key. I think one of the things that does help, and we'll end it on this, is for me, I have this book and I have scriptures in it, and I kind of put some worship on and I kind of go over these scriptures that kind of, like you said, what motivates me. But sometimes in my stillness, it's easy to go, what's going on in this world? But the scriptures always get me back to not being afraid. And I would encourage you, write down Joshua chapter 1, verses 4 through 9, I think I read. And just write it down in a book, paper, and put on a magnet, put it somewhere, and just go over it where you can see it. We do that with our kids in our house. We have scriptures all over our house, and kind of helps them go, it's not just scriptures but motivational speeches and stuff, and to get their mind right. And maybe you need that, hey, it helps refocus your mind back on that stuff. And I just don't watch Rocky movies all the time, no matter how good they are.
So that's it, guys. We love you. If you haven't subscribed yet, we invite you to subscribe, become part of the family we got going on over here. We're growing all the time. Check us out on the podcast or Spotify. I put those two words together.
And Apple.
Yep.
So thank you guys. Love you guys. Peace.